Hello everybody, Future Drak here. So I realized that for some reason, the video wasn't working for the first part of this podcast thing that we did. So I re-recorded some footage just so that there's something playing on the screen, but it's not going to be matching what I'm talking about. So in case there's that confusion, that's why. But the rest of it should be fine. So hope you guys enjoy it, and let's get into it. And here we go. We are live.
I just like
looking at you.
Yep, I'm just waiting for you to keep staring at me. Are you gonna talk?
Just
No.
waiting for you to chime in for a second to let everybody know it's not just me. Half the people probably just
You
clicked off. I was
talking-
told this was going to be a Drak Yuni video, and it's
No.
just Drak.
Silent Uni.
No. Okay. So
Here in spirit.
for whatever reason, the PS4 is taking forever to update. I didn't even think it would be that big of an issue, but it's been going for like 15 minutes. So I figured Uni's not going to be up for that much longer because you gotta go to sleep
Yeah.
at some point. So I figured I'm going to play on mine for a bit, and then we'll talk. That's the main focus anyway. And then we'll switch over to Univision. And and then we'll go on with her story. But
My story?
yeah, your main story.
Oh,
quest.
yeah.
For goodness sakes,
I'm
I'm doing my best here.
And I'm tired.
Okay. I did want to start this out there. I asked you guys on Patreon originally. I asked you guys on the YouTube membership originally. I didn't get any. I didn't get too many questions, but I wanted to know what you guys wanted to hear about. Not a whole lot of people said anything, so I asked on Twitter and the YouTube community page because I'm not too active on the community page, but I do enough on there. Like I'll ask for people's opinions, or I'll talk to you guys on updates on what's going on and stuff like that. So we will get to those. But first, a lot of you guys I know don't have Twitter, which I commend you. That's probably the best idea. But after, hang on, let me find it real quick. I'm finding this tweet that. Okay, so in the last video, there was a machinist that was a little gung-ho, and they were new to the dungeon, which was weird to me why they probably were mistakenly pulling, if I'm thinking about it now. Like they didn't know that stuff was coming up, they were just kind of going.
Yeah,
But maybe they were.
exploring.
I didn't look over the footage before we did this. It didn't matter to me that much.
No.
But anyway, but I got a few. I was making the joke like, "Oh, just let him die. He pulled it. He tanks it." That's a common joke within our raid team.
Yeah, also because Drak and I have been tank and healer for. That's how we started.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our motto because it happened a lot in the beginning.
Yeah. And like, we were starting small because, as you guys saw, Uni was figuring out that she's got to go pick up the baby real quick.
Be right back.
If you guys can hear her over the monitor. No baby noises. I can turn it off now though, because she's gonna go grab her and bring her here. So it wasn't a huge deal, right? Some people were like, "That's griefing." I had one comment where it's like, "It's not fun to deal with catty tanks and healers." I'm like, "No, I understand. I get it." But at the same time, I was like, "I'm not going to apologize for this because I'm not wrong." Anyway, you guys, I'm hoping you guys have a sense of humor. More sense of humor than a lot of the people in this upcoming thread did. So I tell you that to bring up the notion or whatever. I'm exhausted today. Or it's been a long one. Oh, I just lost my... Okay. So I went onto Twitter, and originally I was just like, hey, I'm really... Because the last podcast was, like, super successful. You guys, like, really enjoyed that, and I didn't expect it to be that popular. So it makes me feel better that I have some content that everybody enjoys, that while we wait for new raid content, you know? So I said, I'm really happy you all enjoyed that last video, and I appreciate all the support. And then under that tweet, so it's not a new tweet necessarily, it's in this thread if you guys know how Twitter works. And this is, I'm just being facetious here. It said, also stop defending DPS that pull dungeon mobs ahead of the tank. Smile. There might be a good reason they're not, there might be a good reason they're not going as fast as you. Mistakes happen, sure, it's easy to pick them back up. And it's also easy not to be an impatient little snot. I didn't say snot, but I also put a little smiley at the end. And then in parentheses at the end I said, love you. So that was, I was just teasing you guys who were like, oh, don't be mean to the DPS. I'm like, no, don't be mean to me. And a lot of you guys were like making comments about, oh, Yuni's not doing this yet. Oh, it's okay. I know she's new, or not new, but I know she's getting back into it. Like, there was a reason why I wasn't doing balls to the wall pulls. There was a reason, and it was a legitimate reason. She had to relearn her hotbars, had to make sure, it's been a while. There were a lot of abilities missing that she wasn't aware of. So like, there was a legitimate reason why she wasn't pulling a lot. Or why I wasn't pulling a lot, so that she didn't feel pressured to have to like go crazy. It's not that big a deal. But people on Twitter, that got retweeted like crazy. It got liked like crazy. Looking at right now, 130 retweets and 846 likes. For me, that's a lot. Not to flex, you know. But yeah, so there were a lot of people who were like, oh, thank you, this is so annoying, I get it. And I was just having a laugh about it. And then there were the DPS that, oh my goodness, if you dare ruin if you take so long, it's not that hard to tank. It is so easy. Like, they're just going on. Like, there's no excuse. You'd think you were like bringing up a real touchy topic with them. It was just like, I don't want to get too racy with this whole thing, but it was just like they were so mad. And like, I had another, not really content creator, but a streamer. He might be a content creator. Get in there. There's just like, that's kind of griefing. I was like, I kind of disagree. No hate there. Like I said, it got retweeted a lot, so it was well beyond the normal, you know, expected fan base. Like the group of people that I thought were gonna read the first tweet. Oh, that's context for the last video. He's doing all this smiley faces and being, you know, a sarcastic jackass or whatever. Sorry, I'm trying to not say words that our kids will repeat because you watch these in the living room.
No, not all the time.
Yeah. They were just furious. So I was like, I engaged with a few of them, and then at some point I was like, I'm going to annoy these people. Like no tomorrow. I'm just going to have some fun with it.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, it was mwah, chef kiss. I loved it. One person, I did it so bad that somebody was like, it just takes so long, da da da. And so I just pushed back a little. I was like, if it's taking a really long time for you in the dungeons, maybe it's your DPS that needs a little work. Maybe you should do a little class research. And anybody who's been here since Heavensward knows that's the red button for us, because we had a comment on one of our A12 videos, I think, like an initial one. And do class research. It was so condescending, so elitist, right?
Yeah, but also your tone right now of how you're saying it. Who knows what they thought you were saying?
Oh, I know.
Reading
I know.
the tag.
So anyway, I do that whole bit, right? And so then they're like, no, it's not that. Da da da. It should be that. It should be super easy, and it's taking forever. And I was like, hey man, look, if you need AoE to clear a dungeon fast, maybe you're the problem. And I was like, obviously that's not the case. Yeah. Oh, of course I poked. Obviously that is not the case. AoE is so much faster. AoE, and you know what, guys? I like big pulls. I like doing big pulls. A lot of people thought that this meant, I don't like big Drak saying that you shouldn't big pull and da da. It's not what I was saying. I was saying, let the tank do their job. It is not 100% the tank, only the tank can pull. I'm not saying that because I think it was Sia who pointed out some videos that people had done that were showing that it could be really beneficial to have some DPS go ahead because they have a lot more movement than a lot of tanks. I don't know. I haven't looked at that. I didn't care too much to like research the whole thing. I just knew that it existed, that they vouched for it, and so I was like, okay, I'm open to that line of thinking. Obviously, I'm not saying it's black and white. if you're DPS and you pull, then you deserve to die. Like that's not the context, right? So, but yeah, a lot of people miss that. But when I was doing the whole class research thing, then somebody else goes and looks up like old parses, and I don't parse myself. So it's like from somebody else uploading theirs or whatever, or I'm doing a run with somebody and I'm in the party. That's what counts. Like if I'm doing a 24-man, I didn't even look at the fight that they posted because that annoyed me. Like I like annoying people until they start saying stuff. I'm like, hey, now, like I wish I had the maturity to be like, just let it all roll off my back. But sometimes I let it get to me, and that's my great hubris. But yeah, I got somebody to pull my logs, and I was like, hey man, that's why I tank. I just weaseled out. And then I made a subtweet, and then was like, when you sass somebody so hard that they pull up your logs or they pull up logs and stuff like that. And
you did.
Yeah, it was that check my logs character from my monk video.
Oh,
Yeah, I just put him in there, and that got a lot of attention. Like people were just on it. Like people really loved this, and I was like, wow. You know, on one regard, I don't like making people upset, but then I also don't want the kind of people that have zero empathy for other people. Like, hey, obviously, like I said earlier, there is a reason why I didn't pull big early.
Yes.
It's not that I don't like doing it. I do it, and you know, if you haven't done it, if you're worried about it, if you're nervous, I recommend trying it out because I think it's a lot more fun in the dungeons personally. So I only do it because I think it's fun, not that you should play it this way or it's the only way to play. It's the most fun. And you're just saying that because you're a tank? No, I like it on healer. I almost exclusively run dungeons on healer. I love running on white mage because white mage can do the deeps, white mage can do the heals, white mage is just so good. It is so amazing. Anyway, so where did I leave off with that thought? Anyway,
I don't know.
People. Okay, so I was like, it's good that people who are going to be this toxic and this elitist and all that stuff. It's like if they're following me, I don't want them to. So I was like, haha, I'm gonna need to do more of these hot takes. People were like, more like a shit take, or yeah, garbage take. Oh, I already said it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They I could have done that. I was waiting for you to get in, but you're feeding baby. I'll be tricky.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep her for a little bit, so it's fine.
Okay. I usually have the pillow in here, and then I'll have the controller under. And I'll just let it. But I don't know. She calms down when she's with you now. You've had her more doing those. Sorry, let me finish my thought. I'm getting way too. I get so sidetracked. And then I had Denmo chime in, which was the funniest thing because he's like, "Why are you getting flack for such a milquetoast stance on things?"
Yeah,
and it's just like you pull it, you take it, and like one person was like, "It's griefing because you're ruining it for the party." I was like, "No, I only do it if I know at least one other person, usually the healer. Like, hey, don't heal them. Let them learn their lesson." And then they learn their lesson. And it doesn't happen. We pick up the rest of the mobs, and it's just like, yeah, it is super easy to deal with, but it is so much fun to just watch them eat it after they're being like so impatient. And if you want to pull fast, I get it. I want to pull big typically, and I'm still annoyed by that. Like if you wanna say, hey, I'm gonna help you round up some of these mobs, or like these caster mobs, I'm gonna grab them first, so then they come to you, so you don't have to worry about them being all off, and you know that can be helpful. I'm totally on board for that. Thank you if you want to do that. I appreciate it, but communicate it, right? Communicate it. But I will let you die without a moment's notice.
Yeah.
If you decide, I'm gonna pull, and we do it in raids. We do it in, and it's not like every single time somebody does it in a pug. It's just like, okay, this person's done it for the third or fourth time in a row. They're gonna learn a lesson here. You've annoyed me, and it is a total power trip. I'm not gonna act all high and mighty. I'm gonna go back out there while you hold the baby. I need to register for more. I just got my warrior up to 71. That's right, I probably have new abilities that I need to put on my bar. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm talking. So you guys can just, it hurts my heart to see Drak without his level 80 stuff. Too bad. I think that was, thank you guys for, inadvertently starting that. That was a joy of a couple days. It was so much fun. Oh, it was so great. And people got so mad for like no reason.
Yeah. I was just listening to you, how much you were poking at certain people. He was having a great time.
It made it so easy. It's like, why wouldn't I?
I don't know. I didn't think people would get as heated about it either because it's something we've done for so long. Or like had that thought or mentality for so long since we've been playing.
I didn't think it would get circulated that much. So I didn't expect people from outside, like, just the following.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was trying to make a movement within the Final Fantasy XIV community. It just happened. And some people were just, like, really indignant. Like, oh, this is just a thinly veiled... And you either worded it really bad or it's a thinly veiled anti-big pull thing. I was like, yeah, no, people didn't get the context. And then that was the last I heard from them. So it was just weird. It was weird, but it was fun. I enjoyed myself. So yeah, I think that's it on that. My final thing was like people would retweet it and then be like, "This is such a garbage take." I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I'd get like 5 times the likes as that retweet.
Oh,
so it's like likes aren't everything, but it did show that a lot more people were agreeing. So it just spread the word even more, and then more people would retweet it like in agreement, and it just backfired on those people who were just like you guys don't know how far up your own booties you are. it was ridiculous. So I had fun and got a new patron from it. They messaged me, hey, your hot take quotes got a new patron. I was like, oh, welcome. I have no idea why people got so mad at that, but I hope to make you guys laugh this time. They really didn't want to turn things into an argument. It was just very weird. Anyway, a lot of your questions, transitioning.
Yes.
You want me to get your pillow so you can actually play for a bit, or are you going to try and put her back down? Baby's been cluster feeding today, which means she'll like eat for 2 minutes. We do breastfeeding. She'll eat for 2 minutes, then like fall asleep from it, wake up in 30 minutes. But you can't put her down because then she'll wake up again. She's just been very clean lately. Normally she's very good.
It's just that it's like when they're growing, so they're eating more. So then
you just haven't been able to put her down.
No.
Today.
No. Today she falls asleep on me, and as soon as I put her down, she's like not settled, and she's just uncomfortable, and then she'll wake up. I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Put her down. Try being the keyword. And then we will discuss the questions.
Yeah. And while she's gone for a moment, I could just pause and move on to the next thing, but there were things that people specifically asked me, and that was the relic and how I liked the Bozja. So I'm here right now. I really like this content. It's enough. You know what I mean? It's got enough. And I think they learned quite a bit from Eureka. Like, they kept really good parts and then they got rid of the really bad parts. So I really like that early on you have your resistance rank. And I don't know what you would call it, but something like that where you're leveling up really quick, but nothing's locked too much behind it. Like, so you have these 3 areas, 1, 2, and 3, which is blocked off here and here. So you have to do stuff in here, raise your metal by doing the fates, and then the critical engagements, of course, which also give you battle experience, and it puts you straight to level 80. I'm getting ahead of myself. I apologize. Oh gosh, I'm trying to do this and talk at the same time, and it's not working. It's these like little intermittent milestones, and that's why like you'll hear a lot of people that are talking about Genshin Impact right now, and they're just like singing the praises for the first part of the game, and then of course somebody was mentioning in my stream a while ago that the end game sucks. And it's like, yeah, usually when gachas start out, it's very like beginner centric, and then they add the end game later on once people have kind of built themselves. You know what I mean? But like in Genshin Impact, there's, as you're exploring the world, going from quest to quest, there's a little enemy camp over there, and they have a treasure chest, so I'm gonna go and get that, and then that gives you experience, and then there's a challenge to do right here, so I'm gonna go and do that, and there's a waypoint right here, a teleport point, I'm gonna go do that, and it's just like all this stuff along the way that makes the overall experience a lot more palatable. Before she gets upset, we might settle down. She did that last night. I got up to feed her, and by the time I got to the room from my office, I got the monitor in here, she was asleep again. I was so frustrated with her. So then the final time I was like, all right, I'm gonna boot up one last game of Fall Guys, because it's only like a 7-minute thing or whatever, 15 minutes tops. Okay, well, there goes Uni again. Life with kids, guys. We still have to truck through because it's not going to get better. Not complaining. It's just day in the life. Oh, this is the glow. This is the glow. This is the glow. Let me see it. Let me see it. That looks pretty clean. That's a really pretty glow. I like that. I kind of want more. At the Samsara? It is. Okay, so that's recollection. That looks really cool. I love it when they have the glow with the like circles around. I think that's a lot of fun. Anyway. So Bozja kind of does what Genshin did. Whereas like you are already max level, so you're not gated as far as like your abilities or anything. So you can attack any creature at all in here. You know, the higher level that they get. So like so these are Eureka, not Eureka. Oh, I can do it. You can do it, Drak. What was that one? Oh, I know you guys are screaming at me. The content and the airship stuff. Golly. What was it called, babe? You know what diadem. Gosh. Oh, braingasm. Okay. Diadem. So 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5, and then there's a star rank ones. I'll get into those later. Hopefully, if I remember. So, oh.
No safe place.
No, this is Titan Extreme. Kill it with fire and axes and cleave. Okay. So there's the getting your resistance rank, right, which is really cool. And it's real quick early on. And you only, I think, need level 9 to unlock the 3rd area. So, I mean, you're spending like, what? Okay, so apparently the recording itself was cut short. I thought it was a little weird. Anyway, long story short, I like Bozja, and let's get on to talking about how Uni and I met.
Okay, now it should be right.
Yeah, I think we're good. There's a little pause button. I could have just hit that. Not too confident in it, so we'll see if that little thing that I did earlier works. I will let you get through some of the story so I can rest my voice for a little bit because I've been talking nonstop. And I had a stream today, so
I feel like you wanted to talk a little bit there, though.
Sorry. Sorry. Just making sure that it's closer to Uni because she's got to sit back for the baby. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I always do.
But that you hail from another world as well?
Wow, it must seem weird.
Everything we told you.
Also, keep cutting it off before they can finish their lines. It's really annoying to somebody in the chat.
All of it is true.
They made a comment about it, and I have no intention of fixing it for them.
That I cut them off?
Yeah, like you were reading it faster than they were talking, and they're like, "Stop doing that!" Keep doing it.
No, normally
keep doing
I
it.
wouldn't do it, but I can't hear the audio.
Yeah, if she plugs into the audio, then you guys can't hear it,
Realize how fantastic
and
it is.
that might not be a big
I will
deal,
not
but
blame you for doubting our testimony.
No, that would annoy me too. But I
That's
can't.
too
I
bad.
can't read their lips or anything.
I'm at the end of this michelada,
Given your expertise, you must
and I have these
the peculiar nature of their souls.
Oh, what do you call it? Saladitos, which are salted dried prunes, I believe.
Any other time, and I would have dismissed your
And,
stories
oh my
as
goodness,
balderdash and
that
flubber.
last centimeter
But
of beer.
upon closer
Oh,
inspection,
salty as hell.
it's plain their souls are
Take
far
another swig.
denser than is normal, and they do not possess
Because that would be the thing to do.
It's so good though.
Yuck.
save you. Your body is your own,
No, her body's mine.
and your
It's mine.
soul
My body.
Oh, I have the densest soul.
Speaking of words that'll get you in trouble on Twitter.
Really?
That's another story. I'm not going to get into it. But
Okay.
I'm going to tease it.
Still be awash with light, the realm yet at the mercy of Vorthri and the Sinitors.
You're just vibing, little girl.
She should not be awake right now.
She always does this. Every time I grab her, I can't. She's falling asleep at the bottle,
Safely back to their
and then I try and put her down. She wakes up, and I just hold her, and she just chills here. She's wide awake. But yeah, baby is right here with us, right now.
Yeah, she's super chill right now.
Yep. You'll hear her cooing a little bit, or breathing,
Your tale is
smacking her lips, looking at her mama.
yes, very intriguing indeed. Simply to hear it.
Portable
is
lunchbox.
entertainment in itself.
She carries me,
As
she
your
cuddles
friends,
me.
I can but agree. Their valorous deeds on
Feeds
behalf
me.
of Norrant are deserving of recognition, of their own fitting payment.
What was that thing you told your friend? It was like, you don't exist until I stop feeding them.
Oh,
Was that
yeah.
something what you said?
I mean, it's true. I don't remember that, but I'm not going to argue it. I hope this recording's going well. Did we really only go for like 18 minutes? I feel like I talked for an hour.
You talk really fast.
Huh, with all my meandering around the point.
Yeah.
Still.
I do have one condition, however. I am not the spry young Numo I once was. As
Of course.
It would be our pleasure. We'll be laboring for our own benefit.
I don't think you have to run anything with me. I could have done that dungeon.
Well,
Well, whatever.
no, didn't you like not do it because of?
I wasn't sure if, I wasn't sure if we were going to run something together again. We don't really
Oh.
have to. I don't know if
have
they're...
to do anything.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how... It's a lot of cutscenes.
Is it? Oh, that's right. You said it was.
Yeah, in general. So once the cutscenes die down, we'll get into our love story. And I will be taking partial lead on it because Jessica was worried she'd come off the wrong way.
Well, just for certain parts of it.
Yeah.
Intriguing. Oh. He is more knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
No, there's not a lot of talking here, guys, but I hope it. You're still getting her reactions to it, because that was the original purpose of this.
Oh yeah, my reactions to the story. Oh wow, he's really been like in a cave this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe they just haven't seen the afflicted before.
Does he have special eyes? Because
yeah,
he
they're
can
a
see
fae.
our.
They're a fae creature. So they're attuned to aether a lot more than we are. And they're particularly a mage. I'm so happy they put the Nomo in the game. Still, like, after all this time, I love their design.
Were they in 11?
No, 12.
12.
12 in tactics. Tactics first, then... Was it tactics or tactics advanced? Anyway, I like them.
Yeah, they're definitely unique for Final Fantasy. Or uniquely Final Fantasy.
Yeah. If the MMO design took a different direction, they could have been a playable race. Because they would class lock them.
Oh.
Which people have their various opinions about, but it would be neat to play as them. Because they'd have to limit the number of animations they can do.
Yeah.
Can't have a Numo just flipping around like a monk.
No.
So on her way over there, Yuni and I originally met in high school. And I was 2 years your senior. I'm only a year older than you.
Yes, I was a freshman and you were a junior.
Yeah. And actually at that point you saw me at kind of like my peak, because that was when I was captain of the wrestling team, or a captain of the wrestling team. I went to state. I didn't do well at state, but I went to state. Even though I didn't want to. Story for another time. So she would stop by our workouts and see me all shredded.
Why can I not?
I played football a bit, only because my friend did. And we got in a lot of trouble. They put us on the JV team because I'd never played football before. Anyway, she saw me around a lot, and she got to ogle me. Right?
Yes. But you're talking about the first time we actually met. Is I was like friends with this one girl.
With my best friend's girlfriend.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know it was like she was just saying, "Let me go introduce you to some people," because we were new to everybody at the Catholic high school.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because we were freshmen, because we were from a public school, a public middle school, so we didn't know a lot of the kids there because they came from Catholic or private schools. So we really only knew each other. And then she's like, "Let me go introduce you to some friends." And so she ended up dating your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were just kind of like, they were all lovey-dovey with themselves, and we kind of were just on the side. Yeah. Like, hey,
we didn't talk
I don't know you.
Yeah.
No, I remember you looking like you were brooding, because you were like, he was standing behind his friend up against the lockers in the hallway. Yeah. And like not talking to me.
Yeah, I did not catch my confidence stride until I was about 19. And this was when I was 15, 16. Because I started school in general a year earlier. So I'm always like a year behind where I should be. Anyway, so I didn't chat much with her. But what happens next will surprise you. No,
like for some drama.
Yeah. Well, you got a cutscene. You gotta go through the story. You know how it is.
Well, he
Corey's
tried.
still mad at him
Yeah, I know.
to this day. Oh, now you're getting fussy. Do you want your passing?
She is very overly protective of them. Like,
Yeah.
he's offering help, and she's like, wait a minute. What are you going to do?
Yeah, she's... I think she's spent... I can't remember if she spent more time with... No, Alfina went first. She was just there for like a couple of years.
Yeah, no, I get her affection for them, but it's like he's offering help, so I don't see why she's so...
Oh, should I turn off the camera?
Yeah, I know it's not on.
She gets to breastfeeding.
Wait, I remember now I had to purposefully be out of frame for when you first started doing YouTube videos, because I was raiding with you then, but I would raid and breastfeed Ariella.
Super mama.
So I had to like be out of frame for those parts.
She was chill though, so we could do that.
Yeah.
And then she started to walk.
Interesting.
So this has some text for you to read. So I'll wait a little bit. I know you guys are chomping at the bit. We get to this next part of our
No effect.
epic love story. Oh, she's being noisy.
Yeah.
Goodness, she's glugging away.
Oh, well, there's something there.
Yeah, from just staring at each other, I don't know how we ended up like, cause the next step, like we met, it's a blank, and then we're just standing in the middle of like the hallways after school, and I would just give her a hug, and I give really good hugs, by the way.
Yes, he does.
And I would just be giving her a hug, and we just be staring at each other like two inches away.
Yeah, we're still hugging, by the way. So
Yeah.
we're like hugging each other really close, like stay with our faces really close.
I don't have the confidence to make a move, but she's also not going away. So I'm like, I'm not going to ruin it. I'm just going to enjoy being pressed up against at this point. I was a 15-year-old. I was getting what I could.
But we like every time we saw each other, we'd hug goodbye like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like everyone. I remember people ask me afterwards, like, "Are you dating?" No, we're not dating. We just have all this chemistry that we don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
But no, like,
It's better we didn't at that point, too.
no.
We had
and
some stuff to work through.
Also, that fact also was if I was single, you were taken, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, we never were both single at the same time.
Or for very short instances.
Yeah.
And then there was a time I was about to ask her, like literally one day away, I was like, I determined, because we were just standing in the hallway, and all of a sudden she reached over and grabbed my hand. And we were just holding hands. And I was like, okay, well, may as well go for it. And then an old flame came up. And so then that kind of took precedence at the time, which is a whole other story that I keep getting told should be made into a book because of how bad it was.
Yeah.
The effects are still lingering to this day.
Really?
Well, yeah, like we know her ex now, like as a
Yeah.
part of, basically a part of our family as well.
Well,
it's
more with your mom.
yeah, it's just a, and I know a lot of what we'll get to it at some other time.
Yeah, some other time. It's a
So-
long story.
So that happened, and then that's when like more of the on and off happened. So like,
We were in and out of communication after that.
yeah, I had as soon as that girl started dipping out, I had another person lined up. I was really bad with, like, for somebody with zero confidence, I was pretty good about having like back to back until like high school ended, and then I needed to build myself back up in the real world, real-ish world. And that still burns Jessica to this day. She's like, she looks just like me. Why is he with her, not me?
I hated that choice. When I found out you were dating whoever, she, like, when you look at a driver's license, this is what I always compare it to, is that we looked the same. The only thing that was different was that she was shorter than me.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, why did he not ask me out? Why did he go with some random, like, to me it's just some random chick.
Yeah.
And then she was probably one of your worst choices.
Oh yeah, she was a case. I was particularly immature, but she had a lot of issues, even retrospectively.
Hmm. Given time. Oh, so even if their bodies return to normal, their souls will not.
Or they might not, yeah.
Might not. Or it's harder to mend.
Yeah. Excuse me, sorry.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's the plot of 50 First Dates.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Just wake up one day. That's daily amnesia, not consistent. It gets so morbid. This is such a dark expansion. Like, it just, like, yeah, that's the theme, but my goodness.
Shadow bringer.
I know. But like, come on. Give me a chance. I want to breathe. Excuse me.
Oh, Alice.
Maybe.
Oh, as long as we're still working on our own predicament.
Yeah.
Because she has less time than he does.
Yeah. Tis true. Always the selfless one, though. Trying to be just like the Warrior of Light. Always trying to catch up.
Yeah, but isn't her
Ever
thing
pining.
too that, oh, I have too much in my inventory.
Yeah.
That she's willing to die at any point for a worthy cause, just like the Exarch.
Yeah, I guess so. She's
So
got a
she
bit-
never really puts herself first.
Yeah. She has for the sake of us, though. Like,
Yeah.
she's gotten a little bit better at that through the story. There's been development there.
You're hanging on by a thread. Ooh, sorry. I talked to her and she just shook.
Yeah, she's like drifting off into sleep and...
Oh. It has to be like terrible to be like so proud of something and then see it used in the worst way.
Yeah. That's what I fear for our kids. I'm so proud of these kids, and then they grow up and like, oh, they're assholes.
Well,
It's a little different, but
yeah,
So-
because at a certain point they'll start to make their own choices, and then it won't be our fault that they are.
no. It is-
Up
They-
until that point, if they are, then it is our fault.
they are who they are.
Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you earlier. Ariella did something today, and she got in trouble for. And so,
Shocker.
yeah. And so I sent her a room for timeout, and then after a couple minutes, I went there and I talked to her. And the first thing she just said when I sat down in her bed was, "How did you catch me?" And I was like, this is so my child. Because I remember what my parents told me, what dad would tell me, it doesn't matter how I caught you, it's the fact that I did. Because I don't want her to be like, I'm not going to do that next time, you know?
Oh my goodness.
But you're right. It made me want to laugh, but I'm right there trying to give her a talking to.
Oh, I know. That is so funny. Oh, that is. She is such a straight shooter, though.
Yes.
Like, always, she's just such a. She's an arrow. She's so funny. That is.
Ooh, a familiar.
Yeah.
Is it like the
The pork-
relic?
Kind of.
Because they're saying they're putting power into it.
Yeah, it's like the porksies. Those are their familiars. The pigs with the big ears that fly.
Oh,
That's what they
okay.
use.
Let's get on with it, she says.
Because Alfino is the summoner of them, the Arcanist.
Yes.
Or does Alice? No, she's
No.
more the red mage.
They like that they're twins.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the reason why the pixies liked them?
Well, is that we played with them when we got there.
Mm-hmm.
Took a few puffs of the seeing grass.
Yeah.
The looking grass, is it?
Yeah, looking grass. Off to find some mud.
Yeah. I will share this story. It just made me laugh with Adeline last night because she was crying. It was a long day today. Oh, don't you start. Oh, it's a papa. Oh, what's that? You stop it. You want your... Oh, well, okay. We'll get your passy in a second, okay? Because you're about to fall asleep. Don't even try. Try patting her shoulders or something for a bit. All our tactics to make her fall asleep. And usually she's talking. She's very good around people. Adeline was the same way. Anyway, it's a long day. We ate later than we should. We got girls in bed later than we should have. Addie's crying. She's just laying on the bed, kind of pouting and throwing a minor fit. And she really likes the pumpkin books now. So Jessica held up the book. You want to read this book, Where to Find a Pumpkin? Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Oh, pumpkin." And he said, "But do you want this book?" "Yeah." And then she's just ready to go.
Yep, and then she just quieted down right immediately, right?
Yeah, and they went to bed really fast. So I was so thankful for that. I was so tired. I am tired. I'm better now. So yeah, Uni and I, on again, off again. Never
talking,
yeah, talking, never single at the same time. And then after that, we just kind of fell away until your first year at college. So I'd been.
No, we met. Remember, we met up again at the graduation.
Was that right before you went off to college? It was right before you left because it was a graduation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was going to see.
It wasn't my graduation.
No, I was going to go see a friend. I saw her. Of course, we hit it off again. We're just standing there. I got my arm around her waist, and in like the "I'm interested in you" way. Not like the up on your back, but not on your butt. But it was like right in that sweet spot.
Is there such a spot?
Of course there is. It's like right on your hip.
We were both just had a lot of chemistry and both being really flirty.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So I got her number. I got her digits. I don't know if I got your Skype then too, or if it was attached to your phone number.
I think it was attached.
But then after a while, she went off to college. I was kind of back and forth with some people. I was building my confidence a lot at that point. And then at some point, I just kind of on a whim reached out, like I saw you online or something. And we started chatting. And then we started talking on the phone. And then you had some bad relationships up there with friends.
I had some really bad friends in college.
And so then they pulled you away. As usual, I had a backup.
Yeah, so we were not talking again.
We weren't talking for a while because I was like, if she calls, because she was kind of being standoff, like aloof. I was like, if she calls me, it was Halloween. If she calls me on Halloween, I'm not gonna go chasing her. If she calls me, then we're good. Because I had already like tried to like ring you up. I made the first move, and then it was in your court.
Yes.
And so then that didn't happen. So I was like, all right, on to plan B.
Yep. And then, you want to do the...
Yeah, I figured if you want to. I don't... Oh yeah, Master Chai. You remember him? The cat guy, the old cat guy who's married to the chunky cat woman.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. No offense if you're thick. Don't harass our guests.
Yeah. Oh, what do I need?
It's the clay, remember?
Yeah. He's so happy.
I know. I'm surprised he didn't die.
Right? He kind of killed off those kind of characters.
Usually. Adobe. It's the street name of every other street here.
Right.
That's right, you gotta kill those things. Bunch of fun. I don't know if you have to.
I wish I had glamour for my neck. This necklace does not go with the other necklace.
Oh. Might be able to find something for you. But okay. So
No, I have to go into the mines.
I will say, as weird as that girl was, it was probably one of the better relationships I had because it ended like so nicely. It was just a clean break. I want this out of the future. I want something different. We're not going anywhere, are we? No. Okay. And then we just kind of broke off. She was like, oh, I still want to be friends and stuff. I was like, all right, you know, I'm not particularly beat up about this. I kind of knew it was coming. It's fine. That never really happened anyway, so no loss.
I don't get that.
That's the only person I've ever done that with, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't normally, if once your relationship is done, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But I gave it a couple chances, and then it just didn't.
No, the only person, I had one person that I tried to be friends with afterwards, and every time talking to them was awkward afterwards.
Oh.
Because, it was like that same situation with the relationship you just talked about, where it ended amicably and we were still cool. Yeah. But then talking to them after you've dated them is just weird.
Was that in, high school, though?
What, when I was talking to them?
That was a high school one.
It was a person I dated in high school, but they reached out to me later on.
Oh.
And it was just...
Was it your cousin's friend?
No.
Oh. He was a punk.
Yeah. He tried to talk to me afterwards. Yeah. But, I was trying to return some books I had borrowed.
Yeah.
And so that's why I had reached out.
I remember this story.
And then meeting them and talking to them later on, I was in a relationship and he had his fiance, and we're just talking, and it just was it's just weird.
Just hit that button.
I know.
Sorry. Okay. There you go.
It's just weird for me, and so I stopped talking to him after that. I was like, nah, being friends isn't for me.
Yeah.
Once we're done, we're done.
And I agree with that sentiment for the most part. Because after that, that was the last one. Also, I heard way too much about her exes. Girls, don't do that. Guys, don't do that. Don't do that. I had to tell her to shut up so many times.
Because nobody else ever told me to not talk about previous people.
They are dumb.
I had people ask me about who I previously dated.
Then they're into that kind of thing. And I'm not about that life.
Yeah.
Not trying to king shame. Just do what you want to do.
But yeah, no, if you want your relationship to,
It's okay, you'll find it.
Have some success, then you don't want to talk about people you've previously dated.
Royal 3 bit. There you go.
Sorry.
I'm just yelling at you before the comments can. Guys, just chill out. You don't have to know how much it hurt your little feelings, your souls.
It didn't bother me that much. I actually wanted to know where I was lacking because I've been gone for so long.
Then feel free. People just did that a lot to me in Monster Hunter World, and so I'm like,
well, that's different
leave me alone.
Because you play that all the time. Yeah. I'm coming back to it, so the game plays differently.
Yeah. Well, never mind that.
Yeah.
Feel free, guys.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I didn't want you to be because you were self-conscious for a bit. I'm just gonna play for a bit and not do the stream.
I know. I said I was gonna look up a guide, and I totally didn't do that because I did not have the time.
Yeah.
But I
time to look up a Korean drama.
Yes, because that's what's important in life. But no, I wanted to look up stuff so I would be better, and so I appreciate the comments on what to be using in combination with other abilities.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anymore. I totally thought I was going to run into that.
Do you see that it's like a Dwarven stuff up there? Like how small they are?
Donde? Where?
Right back where you... So it's up in that little thing, but everything is super small. All the...
Yeah.
I thought that was a little neat Easter egg in there. So anyway, yeah, your past dudes just were into that nonsense. So, I hated it. I had to tell it, knock it off. I don't want to hear it. I don't want it noodling around up in there.
Noodling. So the next time we met up again was when I came home from my freshman year at college, and I was just not myself.
You had a lot going on.
I did. I had, like I said, I didn't have the best of friends in college, and so I actually stopped talking to all of them after my freshman year. And I came home and I was just not myself. My mom was very concerned about me, and I was just apathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so...
You had like 3 dudes, including me, chatting you up as soon as you got back.
Yeah, I got home and everybody was like, hey. And I was like, no, I'm not about that right now. And I told everybody, too. I told them all, it's just like, if you want to hang out, cool, let's go hang out. Because I still want to try to be social, even though I don't really feel like it. But I'm not about to start anything. And so everybody was cool with just hanging out. So
I bet they were all passive, though. I was the one that was like, here's the door. And I just started cruising on by until you decided to get in.
Well, we need to discuss what actually happened. What is that even analogy?
I'm just saying, I didn't chase you much. Like, I showed interest, but I also gave you plenty of room to, like...
Well, yeah. Because I think you also saw that I wasn't like how I had been before.
Yeah.
And I probably didn't need that space then. But the summer was coming over. We've been hanging out. And I had decided to cut ties with anybody who I thought might be still interested in me. Because I was going to go off to school again. And so that basically means I had a talk with Drak saying that I don't want to see you anymore. Kind of talk. But then you can say what you said because I totally forgot.
So like we were going on dates for a while.
Yeah.
And your mom's worried about you, your sister's worried about you. They're afraid I'm taking you away. Like, we're having a good time. Like, it's not like I'm dragging you around. Like, you wanted to get out every now and then. I gave you that out. We were having fun. And we were, like, playing the game back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
And eventually I was like, hey, I don't want to play games. If you're into me because I'm into you. I just kind of put it out on the table.
Yes.
And you were like, I don't want to play games either. And then your sister, worried for you as she was, said you need to break it off with this guy because it's not good, or they believed it wasn't good. She told you that we should break up, or that you shouldn't.
I don't remember this at
really?
all.
That's what you told me. You told me that right before we went out that last time where you had that. You told me, like, I don't want to be exclusive. That was you and your sister talking about that beforehand, wasn't it? Or was it like you talked to your sister after the fact? Because I thought she was encouraging you to not.
Probably. But
I'm not
I honestly
making stuff up, guys, because she forgets a lot.
I forget a lot.
Anyway, I remember you telling me that.
Okay.
So finally, I don't have much money, so we're going on cheap dates. We go to the Sonic Drive-In.
Which was the best.
It's very good. It was a popular one for us until the one locally was accused of spitting in drinks in the middle of a pandemic. Who does that? Anyway, that's allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
But we don't go there anymore, just in case. And she tells me that she doesn't. I mean, for the whole time we weren't exclusive.
No, we weren't.
We never
Because
put on airs.
Yeah, I said that from the beginning because I didn't want anybody to like start getting deeper feelings because that would just be cruel. Because I knew I was not about that at that time.
Yeah, she went on a couple dates. I didn't really go out with anybody.
You were working out a lot then.
Oh yeah,
if I remember correctly.
I was jacked. I was looking good.
You did. You looked really good.
If only I could get out again. Ariella would be beside herself if I took any time away from the house.
No, I know. Where did he go? He left?
She didn't take me. What's going on? Adeline would. Oh, my kids. I love them. Eventually, I'll get out again. My body responds really well to it. Even just like the body weight workouts. I'd have the girl sit on my back and do the push-ups, and then I do leg lifts. We have the ottoman coming off the couch, like the footrest. So I let my legs hang off there and then just use my abs to do the pull-ups, and it works very well for me. It's like one day Jessica's just like, did you get trimmer? Did you slim down?
Yeah, it was very noticeable.
So try and keep up with that, at least. Because I want to keep looking good for my baby. So we're at the Sonic, right? Or do you want me to?
You go ahead.
They're just kind of talking about the stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see if that's...
It shouldn't be audio right now because it's not in a cutscene.
Okay, okay. Just making sure that I'm not talking over them. Because I'm going to be talking to the chat now.
Yeah.
She was just like, no, I don't think we should be together or anything. I'm going to go off to college and all that stuff. And my reaction was, okay. And then I just, without missing a beat, I just went right back into talking about, what I wanted to do at the time. I was trying to get into like the stock market, and I wanted to be, financially independent. And I had all these like lofty goals, and I wanted to do business. And when I was still considering, or when I had been doing for a while, not very well, but I'd put myself out there as a freelance video editor for a bit, videographer. Didn't really know how to build from there. But anyway, I was confident. I was a hot shot. But I was just talking about all the stuff that I was going to do, even if she wasn't a part of the picture, kind of thing. I was just expressed myself like I had found my stride, kind of a thing. Talked about my business stuff. Talked about my
talking now.
Faith, which was a big thing for us.
Yes.
And it just kind of like, it wasn't the reaction you were expecting.
No. And also, just to note this, I kind of like tuned him out because I don't remember him saying any of these things. And for me, I had this feeling of an overwhelming thought of I should stay with him. And for me, that was a big like hit on the head because once I have decided that I'm not going to see someone anymore, I don't see them anymore. So with going in with that mindset of like, this is over, and then all of a sudden while he's talking and I'm not listening, I have that feeling of you should stay with him. And I was just kind of like, okay, let's see where this goes. And I still consider that to be God speaking to me in that time because I had been praying for a really long time the prayer is funny. I'm praying for God to hit me on the head when I find the person I'm supposed to be with because my dumb butt is not going to know when he's standing right in front of me. So that's where I took that as a sign of having that just an overwhelming thought of you should stay with this person. And I've never had that before.
Yeah, to backtrack a bit. And I know a lot of people check out when it's like, oh, it's religious stuff. And I love everybody. You guys don't have to worry. I'm not ashamed of what I believe in, but I'm also not beating you over the head with it. This is just our experience. And I hope you can just take it as our experience, whether or not however you interpret it is up to you.
Yeah.
Basically. So I'm not, I know people get, like, even when some people, like if my mom starts talking about it to me, I start like getting squeamish.
Oh.
Even though I'm like really into what my beliefs and stuff like that.
I could see that. I just kind of wanted to give you the account of why I even listened.
Well, I'm about to go more into it, so I'm just preparing people.
Oh, you are? Okay. Yes.
Buckle down for a second. It's not going to take long, all right?
Yeah.
Because like I said, I usually had somebody for a while. I'd always have like a backup plan, or like I was really hitting my confidence stride. So if anybody started showing disinterest in me, I moved on. And that's kind of like I had a mentor at the time, and he was a player. And he was very good at it. He had very good advice. But not for a long lasting relationship, but just how to keep people interested and like people who are playing the game, right? The emotional game. And it worked a lot of the time where it's just like, all right, I'm moving on. And then sometimes they would chase after, and sometimes they'd have something else. One of the girls actually that in that time span I was talking to was the one, my friend's cousin. And I don't know if you were with us, but remember we went to the mall, and then his friend came, and he had gotten her pregnant.
Oh.
Right? So I was like, oh man, maybe I messed up that date. No, I just she was also seeing multiple people or whatever, and then that happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, whew, dodged that one.
Yes.
Anyway, so I was just like, if you're not interested, whatever, move on. And I had already kind of blown her off as soon as she was like not showing interest the year prior.
Yes.
But this time I was like, not really like a word, and nothing in my head really, but I just, like in my core, I just felt pulled. And that's the only way I can explain it. And it sounds cheesy and corny and whatever, but I just felt pulled to pursue you.
Yes.
And not like
not in a creepy way.
Not in a creepy way. I was not overbearing. I was just like, I'm going to keep giving you, because she had these walls up.
Yes.
She was hurt. She was dealing with a lot, and she didn't want to bring anybody else in. So I just had to keep chipping away, little bit by little bit, knocking on the door, waiting for the invitation. And finally, it happened. She went back to school. My parents had been begging me to go back to school because they're well off, so they can do that. I didn't feel guilty about it because they wanted to do it, so I followed her. Don't follow that advice, guys. That backfires very easily, but I was super confident. I went there, made a lot of good connections. I was at Purdue.
Well, we also talked about it before you made that decision.
We did. I didn't surprise you.
No, because when he had said that he was going to just follow me, I was like, no, because you better be going there with the intention of doing something for yourself and it not be all about me, because then you will regret me.
I did. I wanted to do game design. I still want to do more like the creative director style stuff, but I took classes in modeling and rigging, and I don't remember a whole lot. Some programming. Didn't actually finish that degree because the bureaucracy of the whole place was really bad.
Yeah.
If you're an out-of-state student, you're treated second class. Even if you have like junior level credits, I was still treated as a freshman. Yeah. So I got the worst pick of like classes anyway, that just didn't work out. But I couldn't apply for classes yet. So I got an apartment next to an Arby's and an Aldi's. This was up in Indiana.
Yes.
I got a job at the Arby's. I still love Arby's. It was a great job. And I just waited there, and then I went to school for a year and a half, I think, 3 semesters.
Yeah.
I want to say 3 semesters. Then I came back to ASU, got a sociology degree, because sociology is easy to me. I understand if you don't respect the degree, but I love the notion of like interpersonal relationships and how your upbringing and like who's around you and like impacts of culture, all that stuff. You can't talk about it anymore. It's like always really hostile issues now, but I always found it super interesting. I digress.
Yes. I was like, the relationship?
Yeah, the relationship.
Maybe I should just play this cutscene through so you can like take a breath.
No, it's fine. I got it.
I trust you've prepared the clay.
We've prepared the clay. It's a lot. Do we need this much?
Now, I would have you sculpt for me a plump with floppy ears and a short curly tail.
A porksy. I think I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, because we were from different place, so we don't know.
She should have seen one though, because we interacted with the Numo and the Ilmeg. Or what's their place called?
Yeah, but you can see it and look at it and call it something else. What did she make? Oh, Alice, you tried. Oh, I dropped it.
Don't skip.
It's certainly creative. What a nice brother.
Yes, I'm no artist. Very funny.
Child, though it may look like a grotesque parody,
A grotesque parody of reality.
believes that matters.
It's what you believe that matters.
You're not helping.
But I speak the truth. If successful, this incantation will turn imagination into reality.
Ooh.
Which is why the only thing of import is what you believe this figure embodies. You must focus. Hold the Porksy's image steady in your...
Sorry, I cut him off there.
Now then, as I taught you, relax and allow your energies to flow.
Energies must flow.
With flesh of clay I bid you rise, on wings of dreams to touch the skies. What once was idle fantasy, I call forth to reality.
Oh, how cute.
I apologize for all my coughing, everybody. Been talking a lot today.
You
Not
didn't drink
bad for a
water.
first attempt.
And still fat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let us see what can be done for young Halric.
Oh.
Through the operation of the magics you invoked to animate this familiar, it is now replete with the energies required to
Stir the
stop.
body's soul.
You need but give it a name, and it will do as your heart desires.
What will she name it?
A name. All right, I've decided. Now. Go, Angelo!
Did I read that right? Angelo?
Angelo, yep.
He doesn't know where he is.
Mother,
Poor boy. Pretty good first attempt, though.
Yeah. This isn't like 99 pickies to make it work, is it?
No. Okay, so they're not talking
Okay.
anymore. Okay. So followed her there, and then eventually, I mean, the stuff that was going on before didn't stop for you. Like with stuff with your family and just the stress of the schoolwork and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot was expected of you because you were a girl, you were a minority in a tech field.
Oh,
And
yes.
so they wanted you to do so well, but it was also like a really overbearing.
It was weird for me because I had never been in a place where I was actually a minority. Because living where we do, I'm not. And I've lived in Texas and California and also still not. And so going into Indiana, I was. and there's no like there's no not being noticed because I am either one of very few girls in the class or I'm the only Hispanic in the class.
Yeah.
So you can tell when I'm not there.
Yeah. I think you got the most flack from other students. Or there was that one group that gave you. They were just disrespectful because you were a girl.
Yeah, they were. They didn't listen to what I had to contribute to the group in regards to my ideas. They only wanted me to do the aesthetics of a project, like the slideshow, or do the editing of pictures or
Were
whatever.
they buddy?
Yeah, they were
too?
all friends.
Oh, that's another contributor. They just didn't. It was like the cliquishness, and then they didn't know how to deal with a
asked
girl.
me to be in their group.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It was a bad group.
They were douche nozzles.
But that was the only experience I had about that, so I'm
Yeah.
really appreciative of that. Most of the other people I met were really helpful. It was just, with some of the professors, they were like, or even my counselor, they were really trying to keep me in the major. So when I was struggling with the class, they were trying to be helpful, but they weren't actually helping me with what I was struggling with in the class. It was more of like trying to help me mentally, I guess. I don't know. I felt like I was being coached, but no one was telling me the play to actually do.
Yeah. They really wanted you to succeed, but they didn't know how to get you there.
Yeah.
They really weren't helping
Yeah.
too much on the situation.
So that's also, I wanted to, so I took a break from my degree and I was working at McDonald's for a little while. I also was going to work for a year. That was the plan, because I was going to try to get in-state tuition because I was pulling out loans.
Yeah.
And then we lived together when we were in Indiana.
Yeah, they pulled some screwy stuff where like you weren't sure if you were going to be in the dorms, but they still signed you up for the dorms, and you said, no, I can't go to school this semester, so they still charged you for the dorms. Thanks, Purdue.
Yeah, so when you sign a contract for the housing and food, you can't just cancel it before the school semester starts. which is what I was trying to do because I was like, school hasn't started yet. I should be able to terminate it and, you know, be fine. But no, you signed the contract, so now you still have to pay for it, even though you're not going to live there.
And even though it'd be so easy for them to refill, you know, get somebody to redo it. Like, I understand, yes, you signed the contract, but like, there's such a thing as being a little inflexible.
I just thought it was really weird that I
not
had
having like a payout.
Yeah, there was no payout option.
Sorry, excuse me.
It was that I still had to pay for room and board at a discounted price because I wasn't actually living there, but I still had to pay for it.
Yeah, so she was living with me.
And then I was living with him because I didn't actually have a place to stay. Because I was trying to buy my own apartment. And then it's just stuff didn't work out, and I basically tried to move into an apartment before I was sure I could move into the apartment. And then it just, it was a mess, fiasco paperwork wise. So I went to live with Drak.
Just whatever.
Phil Drak.
But wait, didn't you guys say you were religious? Yes, and our families weren't thrilled with the situation.
No.
It wasn't our first option either, but it's just what worked out.
But also take that in consideration is that because of our core values, for me, living with you was the commitment. I was already going to be with you for a while. For a while. We're here for a while.
When's that lease up? When are you planning to head out? Jeez.
But yeah, it's just, I wasn't going to just go live with anybody just because I didn't have a place to live.
Yeah.
My mom or my dad would have helped me find a way to make do. But I was like, no, this relationship is a commitment, and I was ready to make that commitment.
Yeah, and I know those things are like dime a dozen. You know, like I won't bring that person up, but it was like, we felt really strongly about it, and it worked out. Anyway, not necessarily justification for it, but it did in the end work out.
Yes.
And then I went to school for a little bit more. The bureaucracy thing happened because they were like, you're going to have to go to school part-time because all these other classes, like I couldn't take the prerequisites and the requisites together, even though I had professor signatures who said I was competent enough because I was active in clubs. I was always working in the classes. Like I was really good at networking, but the counselor did not like me at all. Because I had already done the same thing, one of my professors said, if you come to my class, do the classwork, and do the assignments, actually officially sign up for the class next semester, and then I'll give you a passing grade. Like, because you've already done all the assignments. Like, I'll know that you're competent enough to do it. So I was able to take an extra class along that. It was just, there were too many to do for that. And they were going to make me stay there part-time, which meant it was going to take twice as long, which meant that I was going to be out of work twice as long. And I just wanted to get into the job market. So then that's when we cut it off. You dropped out a while ago.
Who's she referring to in this? The person in the source.
It's the, was it Bozja or whatever? The kobold. The one that was tempered by Titan.
Yes.
He summoned him for his parents.
Yes.
Yeah. Gabu. Yeah. So now they're talking about curing tempering.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Pretty groundbreaking. I'm excited to see what they do with it. Anyway, to kind of summarize, then we came back home. I went to ASU, got my degree, couldn't find work for a solid year.
Okay, but during this time that you were at ASU, I took one or two classes, but then I did not have the diligence to continue with a degree.
There was a lot of stuff that we had to work through together, like as a couple. Like she had to learn to let me help her.
Yes.
and
Still
open
working
up.
on that
So
one.
we are still working on that one. I have a story for that in a second because we're probably going to end off pretty soon here. We've been going for a while.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, it's been an hour, so this will be like an hour and a half probably.
Yeah.
Maybe. Hopefully people aren't looking at the timestamp with like,
Yeah.
2 hours. Yeah, those classes didn't work for her, and I was ready for you to go into like computer science, and just I was gonna be okay taking care of kids. Like that was not an ego thing for me, because I wasn't able to find, or like
Yeah,
I'm more of the
then
artsy type.
I'm talking about the
So
other
my
part of our
degrees.
relationship is that we got engaged.
Yeah, we did. Oh yeah. So during that time, because I got engaged, we were waiting on your dad to help with some stuff. He never did.
Yeah, so we were engaged for a year.
Was it a year and a half?
A year and a half.
Anyway, after the year, find out that she is pregnant.
Yes.
So we were already committed to each other, even though our wedding photos looked like we were in a shotgun wedding, because she was like, I want to be married before we have the baby.
Yes.
So literally 2 weeks before.
Yes.
2
2 weeks before Ari was born, we got married.
She was pregnant.
Because, well, we were in, that's a whole nother thing that our relationship went through. We were both in complete denial
We were
that we were pregnant.
for 5 months.
For 5 months.
You couldn't tell. My mom was like, is something
Both
going
of
on?
our moms were like,
But we're like, no, it's fine. She's
She's pregnant.
stressed out. She's just put on some weight. It's fine. And then she took a test, and we're like, there's got to be a mistake. You went to see the OB.
Well,
and when you
like-
laid down that first time, there was the bump.
yes.
You could actually see it.
Well, like, in April of that year, so I was 4 months pregnant, I felt my body changing.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, shit, I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll make the doctor's appointment to confirm it.
Yeah.
Because, but it's still 4 months, guys. I had symptoms that I was totally denying were symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was really stressful for our relationship because I was having pregnancy symptoms, but we didn't know that.
Yeah.
We were in denial of that.
I'm like, why am I making you sick?
Yeah, there's just times where I was either overly emotional, or there's
Oh, yeah.
times where
That
I
would
was nauseous. So, but I wasn't like, I didn't have morning sickness like how they tell you, like it's like every day. I had it sporadically. So I thought that I was just having stomach issues. And so then that kind of affected our love life.
Yeah.
And so then that was frustrating for both of us because we didn't know why it was happening.
Why am I making you sick?
Yeah, exactly. And then there was a couple times where I had eaten something and I thought I had food poisoning because yeah. So that's what happens when you have food poisoning. Your body tries to get rid of everything.
Yeah.
But in fact, it was because Ariella did not like spicy food. And I did. So it happened a few times. And so looking back now, yeah, I was having lots of pregnancy symptoms.
Yeah.
And that was just when you don't think you're pregnant, it causes we had a lot of arguments and a lot of stuff during that time.
Yeah.
It was a really emotional time.
Yeah. To say the least.
Yeah.
And
but-
again, another case of sort of flimsy morals there. But I'm not
Yes.
judging anybody else. And we did end up together. So we were committed.
Well, we were engaged for a year and a half. So
Yeah.
we were supposed to have gotten married after a year of being engaged.
Yeah.
So then, technically, if we would have gotten married when we were supposed to, we would have been
Yeah.
just fine morally.
I mean, we still had a love life before we
Yeah,
were
that's
engaged
true.
too.
That's
So
true.
we dropped the ball there because I do respect people who wait.
Yes.
I think that is
Seriously.
Um,
Serious respect.
But yeah, then we got married. It took me a long time to get work.
Yes.
And then
back
at
to
that
part.
yeah, because this kind of ties into another question, like how did that kind of happen with the whole? I think or maybe I just interpreted it that way. But Jessica's been the one who's been encouraging me the whole time. Like, I didn't have anything. Like, yeah, my family's good, but like they were tapering off. Like, they really want. So I was trying to do substitute teaching for a bit, and that was way too stressful. I was trying. I forget the other job that I was looking at, but she was just like, "Yeah, the videos started to do well. You enjoy doing it. You're having fun. Try focusing your time on that."
And then
our parents were like, "Are you sure? Does this need to be the main thing? It should be a side thing while you look for main work."
Yeah.
I was like, I can't find a main job, so I just.
That was the stressful part, is because this being a content creator, it was a whole new venue.
Yeah.
Or a whole new type of job, I should say. So our parents are both traditional, yeah. So the fact that he was going to go do something online and he would be working from home was like complete novelty. And they're like, is he going to make enough money?
Yeah.
And so both of our parents were trying to be supportive, but they all had their worries and their doubts.
Yeah.
So we were dealing with their worries and their doubts.
Which didn't help because I was putting out. I was trying so hard. I really was trying hard.
You were really trying really hard.
I was putting. I had work so much easier when I didn't have a degree. It's obnoxious.
Yeah, that's how we also knew that we were supposed to go in this direction.
Yeah, we were really forced.
Yeah, because
we were pushed, rather.
Yeah, because you normally got a job like within a couple weeks of putting out applications. So the fact that you weren't getting any callbacks, and that when you did, you had some snobby interviewers, it just just was really a situation of like, you shouldn't be getting a job right now. You need to be doing
sauce. Yeah. A sauce near our house. It's a pizza and wine place. It's like fast food, and oh my goodness, I get an interview. The I think it was like a general manager or something, or like one of the guys around my age or a little older. He was super cool. He was super like friendly and super excited to talk to me, and that I brought in an application. And then I talked to the owner, and what have you been doing for the past year? Well, I put on the application, it's YouTube stuff, but you can see that I'm consistent. I manage myself. I do well. Like I dressed up. I shaved well. Like I still had wasn't unkempt, but it was clean. You could, look good. And he's like, well, I don't know, maybe you've been hopping jobs, maybe you've been on drugs. I was like, what? Maybe I don't know what you've been doing for the past year. I'm like, the videos and stuff. Like, I know it's not, but it's like all I had. And oh man. And then he was super rude, and we just moved home with my parents. Yes. We had enough room. Swallowed my pride hard there.
We both did.
Ari got to grow up around her
grandparents. Both of our parents were there. Or living in that same town.
And eventually, you guys, thank you for those supporting on Patreon. It really did swing things hard in the other direction, because then I was actually able to show my parents like, hey, we are stable now. We can get out, because I didn't want to stay with my parents. I love them, but I didn't want to stay there. And now we're good. Now I'm able to bring Archie on. Eventually it'll be a full-time thing. Scribble now. Anyway, it's a good thing now. We've been happy. Jessica's always been a big supporter.
Yeah, but we have to say that it was a risk, because we had newly married, we have a baby. And we're moving back home, and we were going to try this YouTube thing.
What I'm trying to bring home though is that you supported, even though it wasn't a guarantee, because a lot of people don't do that. Yeah,
no, but I also had I'm trying to get at that I was supportive of you, but within a limit, because I was like, let's give it a year.
Right.
That's to set a have that talk of we're going to try to do this, but if it doesn't work in a certain allotted time, then we need to readjust our strategy.
Yeah, there's got to be
not just
realistic moment.
Let you keep on going, and we don't ever get enough money to do anything. Yeah. you know? So that's when we saw the continuous growth, and we saw so much positivity going this way, that we both knew that this was where you needed to be.
Yeah. And it was really, it was just really helpful being in there. And she, that's the other thing that people ask is the work-life balance. And it's like, you've been, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
There was, we'll go into more discussion later because we've got to wrap it up.
Yeah,
But
that's a whole nother situation because it's had to change over the years.
in general, one, though, like just kind of piggybacking off what we said, you respect what I do.
Yes.
You understand that I put in the time and the effort, and you know that it takes time and effort. She rarely ever asks for time with me and her. Like, it's all about getting the work done and taking care of the kids. Now we get some time, now that we have, like, a good schedule for them. Scheduling is the next big part.
Yes.
Setting specific hours. Because she's like, oh, he's home. I can ask him to help me. And it would just chop into my workflow
Yes.
so often. And which was straining us because then I'm, like, frustrated that I have to keep stopping, taking off my headphones, pausing what I'm doing. And then, like, okay, what is it? So...
But with the relationship, that's what we're concluding on.
Yeah.
Is our relationship.
Yeah.
So, how we... From where we started to where we are now.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that big point of when we first got together. We went through the engagement book.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's very important.
Okay, so remember that guy that I talked about, who my mentor, who's good at hooking up, but not good at long-term relationships? Well, he was going through counseling at the church, and they'd given him a marriage book. He was trying to work it out with his baby mama, and it didn't work out, so he gave me the book. And I was like, oh, well, I'm serious about this girl, even though it's like we've only been talking seriously for 2 months. But I felt this. I cannot stress that enough. So I was just like, hey, I'm done playing games. I'm looking for somebody in the long haul. Just come up. You literally just jump up, cat. And we went through. What are our values? What do we expect out of life? What do we want from our kids? How do we want to raise them?
It brought up all the questions that were going to come up in the relationship later on. And so we were able to actually talk about them and say what our opinions would be and what our beliefs were and what we'd want for our children before any of it even had happened.
Yep.
And I think that was also something that was very helpful. I mean, it scared me at first because he brought out a marriage book and we were 2 months into this relationship and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was intense. I don't blame you.
But it was fun conversation once we actually started talking about it because you talk about all the things that you're going to end up having to come up in your relationship later on.
And there's so many things that fall apart because those things are never addressed.
Yep. Like big ones like money.
Yeah.
How you're going to raise your children. And then how we were going to integrate our faiths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, because she's Catholic, I'm Protestant, and it's like, what's the difference? There's
some differences.
There's some there. We've had talks.
Yes.
But nothing like deal breaking.
No.
Or anything like that. It's
But we talked about those things 2 months into our relationship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's something that, like, if you're gonna spend a lot of time with somebody, you want to have maybe not 2 months in, but at some point you got to bring that up. And you have to be comfortable, like, parting ways if it doesn't work out, because you're going to have, like, a life of... You just don't want that hanging over your head.
I mean...
Don't.
I think if you're in the mindset of, I want to be in a committed relationship and I want it to go somewhere, then I would definitely bring out that book as soon as you feel that way with some person, because... then you can go through all those things and realize, hey, this might not work later on.
Yeah.
Because we feel so strongly in different ways about these certain topics.
Yeah.
And if you can't find some resolution before the problem even happens, then when the problem happens, it's just going to be way worse.
Yeah.
So that's why I would say if you were like trying to like test it out, basically like testing the relationship, I guess, then I would definitely pull out a book like that.
Too soon might be a deal breaker, but it gets a lot harder the longer you go.
Yes.
And at this point, we can say that we watched that Daniel Sloss Jigsaw,
Oh,
his
yes.
relationship breaker to her, and we just laughed the entire time. It was pretty good.
I thought it was hilarious that you were like, is there anything I haven't asked?
Because
or we haven't been
I'm
through?
not so up my own butt that I think I've got everything figured out. You know what I mean? Like, that's my biggest
then
thing.
I guess I'm the
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
the one full of pride of like, this is going great. We're the best.
So I was like, there's always room for improvement for me. So I'm like, is there something that is there a critical question that I just avoided because I didn't want things to fall apart? And no, at least not that he brought up.
No, he was talking about is the types of relationships where you are with someone because you would rather be with someone you don't really love than be alone.
Yeah.
And we were both in a situation when we met each other of like, we were all fine with being alone.
That's a good point. Because, I had discovered who I was by myself.
Yep.
And that's kind of part of what I think drew Jessica in, is that I am who I am, whether or not you're a part of the picture. But if you want to be a part of it, this is what's going on. And this is what we can build on together. Yes.
And I've always had that mindset for myself.
Yeah.
Because I was never going to change myself for someone else. And after each relationship, I always rebuilt back up my own self-confidence and independence.
Yeah.
So I wasn't ever in the mind of, I want to be with somebody just to be with somebody. I was like, if you're not into me, then I would rather be alone. I can have more fun. I can go to more things than be tied down to than be tied down to one person.
Excuse me.
So we both had that independence of, we're fine with just ourselves.
Yeah. And it's got its benefits, and relationships have their benefits. And there are certain things that we've had to give up as independents that we'd rather have as a couple with kids.
Yes. I
Because
think
there's a big difference between single and a committed relationship with kids. Like that's
yes.
big bomb. They've been so fun though.
They've been awesome. I love kids.
I love complaining about them though. It's such good joke material.
Yes.
Like I complain about it so much, but it's always to get a laugh. I want you guys to like, oh, that kind of reaction. Not like, holy crap, how are they? Are they okay? Do we need to send help? Do we need to call CPS? Everything's fine.
No.
But they're so much fun.
But even now, we both still have an hour of the day where we have it to ourselves.
Yeah, actually like 2 or 3. It just depends on like
I have
when
1 hour.
when this
I was like,
when this one goes to sleep.
yeah, Esme is asleep right now. She's
Yeah.
been asleep, but I don't know if she'll stay asleep if I put her down in her bed.
Yeah, you said her name. Her face twitched. I know they don't smile yet, but she smirks. Right?
Yeah.
Would you?
So I think that's important too.
This baby. Oh goodness.
Is that we still do have time to ourselves, and we have time like now, like we have with each other.
Yeah, and it's taken time. It's taken talking, and it's taken scheduling, and we just try and communicate. One thing I'm going to end on this story, and we're gonna actually definitively stop.
Yes, I'm the one who always makes us talk longer.
It's one of us. I can't put that all on you. So, before usually everybody's like, "Why are you up so late?" It's because I take night shift, which is like 11 or 10. Really depends on when she goes to sleep. Usually about 10:30, 11 to 3 in the morning.
Yes.
And it's usually when I've been donking out about like 2:30 lately. But I'll stay up so that she can sleep, though she'll still get up and like pump because we do breast milk. If you want to do formula, you can do formula. It doesn't really matter. It's just what we do. Anyway, so we had this system of like, just let me know when you're feeding her so then I can pump. Then I have a bottle for you the next day. I was like, okay. Because I still want to bond with the baby, and we didn't do that very well with Adeline, where she would just, I don't want to bother him. I'm going to take her into the bed and feed her, and then she'll just soothe. And she soothes only on Jessica. And
yeah, that
she would
plan backfired on me hard.
So, like, she would go away with, like, hanging out with friends friend, and then I could not console this child, and it just drove me crazy, and it just put me in a really dark place. If postpartum depression happens in women, I got the next worst thing, you know.
It was just really bad because when you can't console a child, you just feel completely helpless.
Yeah.
And so that's what he was feeling on a regular basis.
And so many conflicting
and at
things.
times.
Like, you have to help them, but you can't help them, and you have to step away. But then, are you neglecting? Like, there's so much stuff that I was struggling with, as well as like her tantrums are so bad. Anyway, so we have a system now where I feed Esme in the evenings, and she just Jessica sometimes just deals with the kids. I'm doing something else, or I'm tired, and she's taking that shift. She just gets them in bed. They're pretty okay. Adeline freaks out, obviously, but then they eventually go down. So Adeline was crying. Esme was crying. I was like, I gotta get a bottle in. I did this once before, and Jessica got mad at me because I didn't tell her, so she didn't pump, and it threw off the schedule for her. So she was annoyed at me. So I was like, I don't want to go in because I figure I have a crying baby. She has a crying kid. I walk in there. And then all of a sudden, I'm the guy, hey, I need help, while you're, like, juggling things in there.
This is how he perceived it, of course.
I didn't want to, I was trying to be considerate.
He was.
All right? I didn't want to poke or just, like, add something else, and then it all comes crashing down. So I didn't, because all I was going to tell her was, hey, I'm going to feed her, you should pump, or just so you know you can pump. So I was just like, I'm not going to bother, I'll deal with it later. I'll take the backlash. So I get the bottle ready. And I also get her pumps set up and ready because they were all they'd been washed, and so they were dismantled, and so I was putting them together. And so she comes out because she hears the baby crying. Are you okay? I'm like, do you need me? Am I gonna take her? I was like, I got a bottle ready. I got your pump stuff ready. You go ahead and take care of them. And she just kind of looked blank stare, like, whatever. And then she goes back into the room.
I was like, I'm severely annoyed right now, but I have a crying child to deal with, so I'm just gonna whatever to you right now. Deal with that later. Go back in the room.
Such a good husband here, supporter, partner.
And that we talked about it later too. It was just like, why did what you did make me so mad? Because for anybody else, I feel like they'd have been, oh, that was so sweet. He was being super helpful. I was like, I can't even get mad at you because you were trying to do something nice. But it just annoyed me.
I wasn't going to ask her for anything later either. It was just like, I want her to be happy. I know this is hard. I'm trying to be considerate. Yes, I work all day, but dealing with kids is not easy either. And as soon as I'm off the clock, responsibilities are now shared. That's our task at home.
Yes.
She doesn't jump me as soon as I get off work, which I appreciate. She gives me some time to like breathe because the kids do plenty well on their own. Daddy, you're here now. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh gosh, give me a second to breathe, please. I love you so much. But so yeah, just that's been our recent thing.
Yes.
It's been a thing ongoing, but like I was ready to like dodge something as soon as you came out of the room because I helped you.
I know.
I fed the baby.
I know.
I got things ready for you.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I know she's going to be irritated at me.
I was.
So I got as much out and ready for her so she didn't even have to work.
Trying to be so nice.
And you couldn't get anything on me because it's just like, what am I putting you out on? You stood in the kitchen for 10 minutes watching videos while you pump because she has these nice little bionic boobs. That's how I see them because they have these little...
They're wireless.
Yeah.
So that you can still move around and do stuff because I have 3 kids.
I'll just walk into because if she does it in the bedroom, it's all dark, and then I just see 2 lights coming out of her bra.
Oh, yeah, the lights. Yeah.
I'll be a bionic woman. Makes me laugh. So,
no. Yeah.
You were not put out.
No.
I had all this stuff for you.
Still annoyed.
Yeah, you came out and I knew it looked like you were looking for something to yell at me about or criticize me about. And you're just like, oh, everything that I was about to gripe about is already taken care of right here.
I was not going to get mad about my pumps being dismantled.
I know, but it would be like one more thing that you'd have to do. And just like,
I would have been putting together all mad. Yeah, probably.
So I was on it, guys. But yeah, so we still work on stuff, but it's not like no heated arguments, no like yelling matches or anything. We have disagreements, we have arguments, we get on each other's nerves, and we work it out.
Yep.
But that was a funny story because it was just like watching the conflict, this quiet storm
Inside of me?
inside you.
Because I'm mad, but I can't be mad.
Yeah, it's just like over the weirdest thing. It's like, I'm helping you. What? Don't bite me. I'm being nice.
Yeah.
So-
But I hope you enjoyed our how we met story and all that happened after.
Yeah. And if you guys want to have questions take priority, or if you're watching this on the Patreon, I will be taking Patreon and YouTube membership questions first. So as soon as I post this, if you guys are seeing this posted on there first, ask your questions in the comment section there, wherever it's posted, and then I'll take those questions, and then you can post whatever else you want on the actual video itself. Just to be nice to the people who are supporting me. I'm not trying to lock you guys out, but as you saw now, I will post it to the community as well if I don't get enough questions or anything like that, and you guys will still have the chance to participate. So please ask any more questions if you want clarity. I can just answer you in the comments, or we can do it as a an actual playcast again at some point. So consider supporting. It really does help. I know that the pandemic has been very rough on everybody. It has not hurt us nearly as much. We've already had a stay-at-home system.
Yes.
Already. So if you guys can't do it, please don't feel bad. It's just a way to make this business model work. That's all. And I try and give you guys stuff to help out with that. So thank you for supporting it. Thank you for letting us get to this point to do these things. Really appreciate you guys. And just if you watch and whitelist the videos, I try and take out the ads. YouTube's been riddling them, like just peppering them with ads automatically now. I don't put them in. Doing my best to take those out before they actually go live. So yeah, really appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for really enjoying this content. The view count has been like crazy. So
Yes,
really
we appreciate all of you.
Oh, it takes such a weight off my shoulders because I've been trying to do like, okay, let's try fighting games. Okay, that's not too great. Let's try Monster Hunter. Oh, that's not too great. Fuck them. Let's try.
I've heard this before, like other people have said, it's that content that you don't think is gonna get any views, and all of a sudden it just blows up.
But it did well, and I appreciate you guys for it. So, yeah, I'm not gonna say all the cringy stuff people normally do. If you like it, you like it. If you wanna contribute, then you're already doing it. I don't have to ask you guys to comment or anything like that. So, yeah, appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. God bless you all. We'll see you next time.
Bye.